real launches, real mega launches, which shape the lives of actual professionals, regardless of the background they come from. So I'm very happy today to introduce two of the latest stars. Actually, we have many more stars, and we'll continue to have these sessions. But as I was preparing for the session today, I got to know about our data stars, Kushagra and Ganga. So the topic of the conversation today is basically we are going to learn from the experiences of Kushagra and Ganga. First, we'll get started with learning who they are, what backgrounds did they have, and what contributed to their success. Right? What were the challenges? What were the difficulties? We'll talk a little bit about the interviews that they've been taking. How did they prepare their resume and all those kind of things, all the fun things. What practice level they had to do, did they understand everything that was taught to them, all those kind of things. It's a free flow style conversation where we have to think that we are all sitting by a campfire, or we are all sitting in a fun place, and we are having casual conversations about some very important topics, but we'll get to live their journey from their eyes. Okay, so please feel free, even though you don't know anything about data engineering, you are an absolute beginner, please feel free to ask questions either in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself or raise your hand, unmute yourself, and ask your question so that uh, we will let Kushagra and Ganga answer it themselves, because it's better to have it come straight from the mouth of people who've been successful, right? Because they have been one of the audience members yesterday, and today they are sitting at a successful seat. So they will share their own feelings, and we have a great uh, guest. I pulled Ashok. I said, "No, Ashok, you have to be in the guest appearance at least." And Ashok said, "Oh, I don't want to do the talking. My work speaks for myself." But I still told him, "Ashok, no, I really want you there, just in case there's a tough question which I can't answer." I just had to pretend and make him come somehow. So he agreed, and I'm so glad to have Ashok here, the legend, the man behind all these successes, and we are continuing to make waves. So, having said that, um, we will also discuss a little bit about, because we are hearing a lot, especially particularly from Ashok's classes, okay, non-IT people also who do not have they may have a degree, they may have a little bit background in IT, or they may be having domain knowledge, but they are not like pure data engineering people, but still they are able to understand the course very well and understand the and apply their knowledge to interviews and become successful, apply their knowledge to work as well. So we have to figure out what is that magic, what is ऐसा क्यों होता है कि some people are able to crack interviews even without coming from a pure IT background. What are some of the points that I have learned, and I will also share my perspective of what have I learned from talking to many people like Ganga and Kushagra. I also spoke to one fun lady today. I used to make joke of her when she joined, and this is brand new. This is just hot off the press, right? So the girl's name is Princess. So when she first talked to me, when she
She's
first talked to
Pooja.
me,
Her name is
I know,
Pooja. She
I
mentioned in
know,
the
I know,
WhatsApp
I know.
Pooja Princess.
No, I'm deliberately saying this. So this girl used to call her princess, and I told her one day, "Hey, princess, I am so glad that we have a princess among us, and we are so glad that you're joining data engineering. Do you have a deep background in data?" She said, "No, I don't have a deep background. I'm skeptical. I'm fearful. I have no clue whether I'll be successful or not. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to understand the classes or not. I went ahead and I talked to Ashok and I felt great, but I don't know." And 3 months later, I was gone to India. I had some personal work. I came back, and the first text message that I find is from Princess, and her real name is Pooja. I make fun of her. She and I are very comfortable with each other. We make fun. And so I said, "Hey, Princess, how have you been? Tell me something that I don't know." And she said, "Arun, I have already cracked the CTS offer, the Cognizant offer in data engineering, and I'm not happy. I'm like, why? I was so shocked because when I was in India, I was thinking people here are the market is down, the stock market is down, the tariff issue, the Aurangzeb issue, this issue and that issue, and everybody, all the youngsters were talking about silly issues, and they were lost in those elections or something here or something there, petty problems. And when I talked to people, they said, "Sir, jobs में बहुत layoffs हो रहे हैं. We are having a lot of layoffs." And on the other hand, I was listening people like Pooja, people like Ganga, people like Kushagara, and many other people. They're saying, "Sir, one job I have cracked. Now I am not happy because I want to crack multiple offers. I'm giving two more interviews." I'm like, wow, that was amazing. And I had to do some research and I had to look at resumes of all these people. I went back and looked at the resumes of Ganga, I looked at the resume of, and I realized uh, a lot of fun things. And guys, without any further ado, I will let uh, our key speakers speak for themselves today. So first, I would invite Kushagra. Kushagra, welcome.
Thank you, Arun.
So Kushagra, let's get started, and we'll allow people to join. We have many people who've joined us so far. So let's get started by talking a little bit about yourself. And you can. This is not an interview, guys. This is just a fun session where we are learning about who Kushagra is, what has he done in the past. So इस तरह के we'll get started, and wherever you feel you have a question, just allow the speaker to finish and then raise your hand and let us address your questions together. We are all together in this, right? All right, Kushagra. So tell us something about yourself, some schooling, some background, whatever you want to say. It's free flow, freestyle.
Fine. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Arun and Ashok, for this opportunity. If I tell you guys about myself, my name is Kushal Shukla. I come from a city in UP, that's Kanpur, and I'm from a completely non-tech background. I have done my BSc, that is Bachelor's of Mathematics, and from a university, Bundelkhand University, and then I did my MBA. So purely, if I tell you, I'm a sales guy. So I started my career in sales because I've seen people from BTech getting placed in 3 lakhs packages. I mean, that was a norm, but I was getting an offer of like 8 LPA or 9 LPA in the initial stages. So I preferred that. But in the later stages, I realized that I'm getting pretty stagnant and stuck in the profile. There's not much growth when it comes to the money. So there were a few of my friends who were in the tech field. They switched to data analyst domain and then they switched to data engineering domain. So I was pretty jealous of them initially, but then the fire, it got summed up, and eventually I made a decision. And I said, okay, I'll be moving into tech because I mean, as per the knowledge of you're getting paid, this is the knowledge which you can show. I mean, this is something which you can present to the people. Because in sales, I mean, you just commit, and until unless you're on the field, you'll not be able to, they'll not put a bet on you. So I mean, there is a limited growth in terms of money. So that's why I chose this field. So I joined the Ashok's course in September. I gave him a call, told him I know nothing. I know nothing means I genuinely know nothing. I mean, I'm a Jon Snow of this field. I know nothing in this case.
Kushagra, when you're saying all this, you know what I'm thinking in my mind? आप जब बात कर रहे हैं, तो I'm thinking in my mind, my God, the words that are coming out of my mouth is, oh my God, because it is usually felt, it is usually perceived and believed that, even if you are, because of your experience in sales, it is very hard for somebody who is into business development, sales, business maintenance, business growth. It is almost impossible for that person to switch to IT and do well in that. It is, I mean, so what you have achieved is not an ordinary achievement. This is one of the rare things that people look up to. So tell me a little bit more about, like, what was your interaction with Mr. Ashok, and how did I mean, what did he say to you that made you join the course in the first place? He must have said some magical words which I want to hear.
No, initially, I mean, I'm kind of guy who very fast action taker. I do not sit on a decision, which matters to me in life. You know, I felt pretty stuck in sales, being at the managerial position. I became a senior manager within just 3 years. But then I got Ashok's number. He told me that he's a very good guy. He got Ashok's number from a reference. Okay, so Ashok, I think recently started with batches between 1 year back. So he got a feedback. I gave him a call. I told him this is the situation. The best thing which I liked with him while interacting was he gave me a realistic picture. He said, Kushal, if you know nothing now, I'll not commit anything. It will take at least 6 months for you. Like 6 months or more than that. So because of the kind of guy who never knew what is server, to be very honest. When I attended the first
Hey,
class,
Kushag,
yeah.
you're breaking off actually. Your voice is breaking off in between.
Am I audible right now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Yeah. So as I got your number from a friend, and he got a number from your ex-student, I believe. So he was trying to join your course, but he didn't make the decision. But he contacted me and gave me your number. I contacted a friend of mine. I said, "Are there enough interviews, enough opportunities in the data engineering field?" He said, "Yes." So I understood like if I'll practice, अगर मैं मेहनत करूंगा अच्छे से, अगर opportunities हैं फिर कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. ऐसा ना हो कि limited opportunity हो. क्योंकि product manager का ही मेरे पास option था. But I had a discussion with Ashok one day before the batch started. 23rd September को शुरू हुआ था. मैंने 22 तारीख को I think call किया था. And I told him, so he gave me a realistic picture कि देखो भाई 6 महीना लग जाएगा. और मैंने कहा मुझे कोडिंग का सी भी नहीं आता है. तो उन्होंने कहा अगर मतलब मिनिमल कोडिंग रिक्वायर्ड है, इक्वल इक्वल अगर समझ में आ जाए, थोड़ा बहुत बेसिक बेसिक सिंटैक्स अगर आता है तो आ जाएगा. पहली क्लास मैंने अटेंड करी, मुझे सर्वर का भी मीनिंग नहीं पता था. आई डिडंट नो व्हाट सर्वर इज, बट देन आई रियलाइज्ड I genuinely didn't know what server is, and I was laughing at myself and frustrated at the same time. I don't know what server is, yaar. You know, what is a server? What is a SQL server? And later I realized SQL server is a storage database. I mean, where you store the data. I wasn't aware
Right.
about it. So that
Right.
was my situation. I was a toddler in the tech field.
Right.
So I knew nothing. I mean, zero in terminologies. When he was mentioning terms in Python, merge into statements and output, I knew nothing. Like stored procedure. I mean, everything was going above my head.
One thing I love about Ashok is when you talk to him, he will, because I have been in many sessions with him where he's been talking to people. He's the only guy, he's the only guy who will give you a realistic picture without any frills and fancies कि आप 3 महीने का कोर्स करो, पहले Hadoop सीखो, you learn Synapse, you learn this, learn all the nonsense, and then we'll give you. Then he'll have some colorful videos on YouTube, Instagram. There'll be beautiful girls talk about uh, so he does not do all those things, and he tells you things very realistic. जो सच्चाई है, real story, real feedback. So
Yes.
you must have had a lot of, when you looked at the market. Whenever a new person looks at the market, they look at market में कोई शर्मा जी हैं, वर्मा जी हैं, सक्सेना जी हैं, गोयल जी हैं, फलाने जी हैं. There are so many people who offer different types of courses. Many of those courses are outdated also, but regardless they offer, shamelessly they offer. And
अगर आप बोलो, अगर आप मुझे अलाउ करो, मैं कुछ एकेडमीज के नाम भी ले सकता हूँ. मतलब I've gone through their curriculum after joining the course, after 4 months of joining the course.
In general, you can speak about them. We usually,
We should refrain from that, but
yeah, but still, I mean, just give me a feedback on what made you pick up this choice versus the myriad of options available in the market.
तो एक्चुअली क्या हुआ ना कि मैंने ऑप्शंस एक्सप्लोर ही नहीं किए. आई टुक द लीप ऑफ फेथ. सो देयर इज अ फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन जिनसे मैंने बात की ना, वो भी नॉन टेक बैकग्राउंड से. तो उन्होंने बोला कि कुशाल, ही इज द काइंड ऑफ गाय जो शुरू कर रहा है अपना करियर. सो सिंस आई हैव बीन इनटू द एडटेक फील्ड, सो आई बिलोंग टू द एडटेक फील्ड. सो आई नो कि टीचिंग के नाम पे जो कोर्सेज चल रहे हैं ना, मैं कोर्सेज ही बेचता था. आई वाज इनटू दैट बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट, लाइक बायजूस, टेस्ट बुक, आपने इनका नाम, तो मुझे पता है होता क्या है. मैं खुद ही बेचता था कोर्सेज. आई वाज द काइंड ऑफ गाय. आई बिकेम मैनेजर जस्ट 1 year of selling the courses and became a senior manager. So I know what it's exactly is going on. रिकॉर्ड करके कर देते हैं, सारा काम सेल्स वाले बंदों का होता है.
Okay.
तो आई न्यू इट. सो उन्होंने लीप ऑफ फेथ मैंने इसलिए लिया. उन्होंने बोला कि नए टीचर हैं और लाइव पढ़ाते हैं और खुद ही वहीं पे नोटपैड में सॉल्व करते हैं. So I understood कि अच्छा ठीक है यहाँ पर सीन ओके बढ़िया है. But later I
Hmm.
realized कि एक Azure Lab Academy है. There is Gupta ji also. There is one Gupta ji into data engineering. Very good
Right,
YouTube channel also, right?
right,
I have gone
right,
through the
right.
videos. मैंने interviews देखे. But मैं आपको
Hmm.
सच बताऊं, until and unless
Hmm.
you go through Ashok's course ना,
Hmm.
जब तक आप खत्म नहीं कर लोगे, जब
Right,
तक आप एक दो इंटरव्यू में बैठ नहीं जाओगे,
right.
और जब तक आप रियल टाइम सिनेरियोज में आंसर दे नहीं दोगे, तब तक आपको कोर्स की वैल्यू का पता ही लगेगा. दिस इज आई एम
Absolutely.
बीइंग वेरी रियलिस्टिक. इस बीच में
I,
आपको आएंगे डाउट्स, बीच
you're
में आप
definitely
बोलोगे.
not the, you're definitely sounding like, many success stories that I've heard, and they exactly
Yeah,
say the same thing. Ki when you are about to take interviews, there are many people who have drawn diagrams. They were asked a question. They said, "Can I go on the board and explain this to you on a board?" And the interviewers were so shocked कि इस बंदे को इतने कम टाइम में इतना अच्छा practical knowledge. How did the person get so much of practical knowledge? So
yes,
so
yes.
that has happened year after year in our batch after batch in our in my own. I've seen it personally through my own eyes.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
मतलब मुझे
so
फीडबैक आया है इन द इंटरव्यू.
right,
जब मैं फीडबैक लेता था, मतलब मेरा
right,
फीडबैक पूछने का भी एक तरीका था. आफ्टर द इंटरव्यू गॉट कंक्लूडेड ना, सो आई यूज्ड टू
right.
आस्क देम लाइक थ्रू आउट द होल इंटरव्यू, इज देयर एनीथिंग वेयर आई कुड हैव डन बेटर. सो वो
Mm-hmm.
खुशी खुशी बता देते हैं आप कि भाई
Right,
यहाँ गलती है. सो मेरे को फीडबैक आता है कि तुम्हें डीप अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, मतलब यू
right,
नो इन
right.
डेप्थ. सो आई एम अ
Got it.
गाय हु फॉलो अ वेरी स्ट्रक्चर्ड पाथ. मतलब मैं कंट्रोल सी कंट्रोल भी वाला आदमी हूँ. मतलब मेरे को रिटर्न में चीजें चाहिए. तो मैं
Got
अशोक
you.
से बोलता था कि अगर आप
So
क्वेश्चन आंसर सबको दे दें थोड़ा इंटरव्यू के. सो ही यूज्ड टू से
so
नहीं, बैठो क्लास में और समझो.
got you. So
या,
I will ask you a couple more generic questions to
प्लीज
warm
प्लीज.
warm us up, and then I will
Hey,
open it up to
sorry,
the
Arun.
I'll open up to the
Sorry,
audience. Yeah,
Arun.
boli.
Sorry to interrupt. Kushagra,
Yeah.
whatever you have said, can you say in English? Basically, there are audience who doesn't understand Hindi.
श्योर I
Yeah.
saw the comments
We are
actually. Yeah.
getting that feed. Yeah. Can
So
you speak in English? Whatever you said. Yeah.
definitely will do that. So the concern, until and unless you go throughout the course now, and you sit in 2 to 3 interviews, because whatever you see in YouTube and the kind of questions which you're seeing in LinkedIn, that is not the real story. I can assure you that, right? And if you want to give an interview in a big MNC organization, you want to sit on bench. I mean, that's okay with you, right? But if you want to like grab a good package, want to do the client interview there and there only, and want yourself to be directly placed in the organization, directly into the project, right? So you go through the courses and you just watch his recordings again and again, and you'll understand in depth like the kind of scenarios you discuss. You will identify the questions by themselves. Now when the interviewer will ask you the question, then you'll be able to understand the knowledge and in depth, and when you'll connect the dots and everything, then you'll be able to understand what exactly he taught. Right, in the initial
Right.
phase, you might be in a conflict, like he's not teaching like in a traditional way. Like most of the courses they teach, they give you the PDFs after the end of the class, they give you the recorded sessions, they give you the question and answer, like 15 questions and clear data entry. It's like that. You go to LinkedIn now, you see
Yeah,
you
yeah.
20
These
questions to
days,
crack the PySpark interview, 50 questions to crack the SQL, and they will have a PDF and they'll send it to you like that.
exact. Kushagra, you mentioned an interesting thing because I've been noticing a lot of places, whether it's Instagram or LinkedIn, people have this link. If you click on their profile, they say they will have couple years experience from XYZ, or they have a very shady kind of background, and they will say they are the best gurus and teachers, and they are selling for $10, 50 questions on PySpark, 20 questions
They
on
have their
this.
top mates
if
profile now.
if
They
you
have their top mates profile ready.
exactly,
Yeah, so that's what they do.
exactly. So it's very funny, I find. And they are earning like 50. If you take everything as a package, they will give you get so many questions. And then you realize when you go to the interviews that you are not being able to make a single interview, but you're feeling great and confident. Okay, now I have become Pushpa 2.
Yeah.
Pushpa jhugega nahi. So that's how they feel, but in reality they are not able to crack interviews, whereas Ashok's people are able to crack their first interviews. I'm like, it's an awesome feeling. So having
Yeah,
said
it
that, let
is.
me ask you a couple more generic questions. Then I want to give
Please.
a little bit time to Ganga, and
Sure,
I
sure.
want to, instead of me doing all the talking, and I will open it to the audience so that I'll take a lot of pauses in between so that the audience can ask their questions because usually what I do is when I prepare for the interviews, sessions like this, I have a lot of questions that I've collected from the audience, but I give a lot of pause in between so that they themselves can ask questions that is most important to them at their heart. Because some people may be experienced professionals, some people may be younger people with lesser experience, some people may be from IT background, some people non-IT background. So I want to give everybody a chance. Okay. So Kushagra, as you went through the so obviously you started the course. You did, I think, approximately 12, 13 weeks of the course, followed by projects or so, things like that. So, what can you tell us the top 3 or 4 things that you liked about the course or the instructor, or what you learned and how you're able to apply those concepts?
Okay, so the first thing that I would like to tell you is that the technology is like evolving pretty fast, right? So uh, the updated the projects are pretty realistic, right? The kind of projects which you get in the actual when you're into the job, right? When you're doing it, so they're very realistic. Number one, the course which he has designed, like in ADF and Databricks, if I tell you, right? So, for example, if there are 5 type of projects that are mainly in the market right now on which you will be working, right? So he has discussed most of them, and he has done the hands-on himself, and then he has shown you in his classes, and then the recorded sessions are uploaded. So number one is this, right? So it's very realistic and it's very up to date. Now the second thing is the real-time scenario discussion, right? He'll throw the scenarios by himself, and obviously, if you just listen, if for example, if you're a fresher like me, you just listen, there will be experienced professionals who will ask questions, right? So majorly, like major part of the real-time scenario discussion would be happening in the class itself. So there are 2 things. And the third thing is, I mean, it's very beneficial because new updated technologies and everything is being discussed. Because he told me database is the future, Kushal. He's next to OpenAI, and I'm a believer, so I do not question a lot of people. I simply believe in them usually. So I took a leap of faith and I realized this, and now I'm realizing why it is. So he gave multiple opportunities of real-time scenario discussion, real-time projects, and I mean support is also there. Obviously, if you want to ask any questions, the group is there which is going to help you. And Ashok, when we'll get time, obviously he'll respond, right? If you're getting stuck anywhere, he'll definitely respond to these things. I think these 3 are only required if you want to start your journey.
You know, whenever I think of Ashok, I have asked thousands of people, what is the one thing you remember about Ashok? And everybody says, whenever we are taking the interviews, and whenever we are sitting in front of our laptop, all alone. There's nobody else in the room. We are all alone, and we can hear Ashok's voice in our ears saying, "Practice, guys, practice."
Yeah,
So,
yes, yes.
Ashok, we all laugh about it because even when I was in India myself, I was hearing in my own ears, Arun, are my people practicing? Are my people practicing? That's what I remember the most. Anyhow, so coming to the interview part, uh, so you at after the course finished, at some point you started applying for the different kind of organizations. So what was your, given the time frame you had, um,
Mhm.
did you feel that there are very less opportunities? Because from a lot of people I hear, oh my god, there are no opportunities at all, this is the time, worst time in India, this is the worst time in US, this is the worst time in Germany, this is the worst time. They keep on saying that without knowing the facts. So what did you discover? Because when I did my own research, the particular day, then there was that one particular day, I was just, somebody told me the market is like truly bad, right? There are no jobs at all. Particularly, nobody wants data engineering. They're all wanting data analyst, a little bit of AI. That's all. And I was wondering to myself, how can they exist without a data engineer? And I read a lot of messages from this guy, Seattle data guy, another guy. They're all saying the organizations that were making mistakes of letting a few data engineers go there, they've all been called back. Uh, then I spoke to a lady in US, right? She's one of the, She's a very talented lady. She's working for a very huge organization in veteran affairs. And I said, "Hey, what happened? I heard a lot of issues in US, and people are getting fired left and right. What happened to them? Why are they being let go?" And she told me, "Arun, this is only what's really happening is they are being let go from the payroll temporarily. But what is really happening is they are all being hired back as consultants. So
Mhm.
they so let's say in US, 50 people were let go, but 55 people were hired as consultant. Can you imagine this? This
Yeah,
is really happening.
yeah.
So what has been your experience when you started looking for jobs?
So honestly, if I tell you, in India, I mean, there's no shortage of jobs. As you told, na, they're hiring for data analysts. There is no data analyst without a data engineer. I mean, you need
Yeah.
data to get recommendations to give to prepare reports, right? That data
Right.
engineer is going to do the ETL and give you the like creating a warehouse and doing the lakehouse architecture, then giving you using Unity catalog, giving you access via it, right?
Right.
So there would be no data analyst, like data engineer come first, then data analyst comes into the picture. So if I tell you
Exactly.
about my experience, I mean there are a lot of opportunities, immense
Gotcha.
amount of opportunities. What
Hmm.
the approach which I followed is, first of all, you need to have an experience. So in my mind, because I'm a sales guy, so applied the law of average. I
Hmm.
said I'm planning to get just one interview out of 20. So
Hmm.
that was my expectation, right? In my
Hmm.
head. So how are you gonna get interview calls? You go to Naukri, you update your profile. This is just for Indian people, right? I'm not aware about the international markets. I mean, how exactly,
Hmm.
like what are the
Right.
platforms for that? You go
Hmm.
to Naukri, you update your profile, you put your CV in there early morning
Hmm.
before once you wake up, like since you open your Instagram, just go and update the profile just once. Okay, delete your this intro, and then you again put your intro again, so the profile is updated. So in the algo of Naukri now, so they will show your profiles to multiple recruiters. Fine.
Hmm. Hmm.
In the morning, make a ritual. You apply. You take at least 30 minutes of your time, and then you apply to every job that is relevant to your job profile. Okay,
Gotcha.
as an Azure
Hmm.
data engineer, I'm telling you, you will after 1 week of doing that every morning
Hmm.
and every evening, you just have
Hmm.
to devote 30 minutes in Naukri. You can go to Hirist also, but I think Naukri is the best profile to do that. At
Gotcha.
least from the next week, for example, you do all of this in the week one. In the week
Hmm.
two, at least you'll
Hmm.
have 4 interviews minimum.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it
Four
is true
interviews
that
minimum.
data engineering market is really exploding right now with
Yeah, it's
the
exploding.
with the Indian government as well as in US. I'm speaking from US right now, right? So
Okay.
the market for data engineering is really exploding right now. With so much investments people are making, companies are making in data engineering, it's no surprise. It was going to happen one way or the other. So no longer people can survive only on, hey, I know SQL, hey, I know only SQL, hey, I know only this. That's not how it's going to work. Anyhow, so let me switch over to Ganga, my bullet train, for a little bit and understand what her profile was and what was her journey as well. And then we'll allow people to ask a lot of questions to you guys, right? So, Ganga, my bullet train from Maharashtra.
Hello. Hi, good
Good
evening.
morning. So, I
So,
call you a bullet train because you came from a non-IT background and you ruled the world. I mean, you cracked the interviews and like we are very proud of you. And so, tell
thank
us
you
a
so
little bit
much.
about. So Ganga ji, please tell us a little bit about yourself. आपने पहले क्या
Mhm,
किया? Where you came from? How did you get interested in this data engineering?
mhm.
And how has been the
Okay.
experience of the course for you?
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Ashok sir, and thank you, Arun sir, for giving me this opportunity to introduce about myself. Myself, Ganga Hasure. I am from basically I am from Bidar and I have worked in Cognizant technology, like previously
Hmm.
on a mainframe technology. So since like May 30, last working since like 7 months before only. After that, some seven
So,
months I was not working.
yeah, Ganga ji, when I was looking at your resume, one thing
Mm-hmm.
surprised me. बिल्कुल surprised हुआ. I was like, what? Really? Really? Can she really do it? मैं मतलब, I was in a state of like surprise and happy shock. I looked at the profile and somewhere I think I looked at it only for 1 minute, right? And I
Yes.
you had some test engineering background as well. In your previous
Ah,
avatar, you had a test engineering background. So going from a test engineering background to data engineering background was very interesting for me. So what was your motivation for doing data engineering?
Actually, I don't know SQL also while starting. One of my friend like Pramod Biradar, he's also in this call. He was suggested me for the course in the starting. I was fully blur, means I don't know like what should I do in the future.
Hmm.
Because in mainframe I was not getting any scope for the further. I was not getting any updates on that. So I was like literally for 1 or 2 months I was fully totally blur. I'm not able to understand what should I do. So one day, once upon a time, he suggested me ki Ganga, for this upcoming future, the like Azure Data Engineering course is so best. So
Hmm.
one of the sir is there. So will you attend this class? So I asked about the sir, and once he invited me for the class. So on that day, I just listen first
Are you
demo
happy?
video of
Are
the.
you Ganga? Are you happy with Pramodji now? Are you happy with
Hi,
Pramodji?
yes, actually, he was supporting me in the every situation. Till date, also he
Got
was
you.
supporting me, and he's in the call also. He's also done
Got
the
you.
course with me. Yes, I don't know even SQL also in starting select star from categories. I was totally blur.
So,
What should I do
so
and all the stuff.
Ganga, the reason I say this is because sometimes, we have all kind, everybody has all kind of friends. Somebody's friend will tell him,
Yes.
go look at Instagram, you will make millions by investing in stocks.
Yes.
You will make thousands by going to investing in some cyber cryptocurrency, some
Mhm.
crap they'll come up with. They'll come with a lot of business ideas, and
Mhm.
after 3 months we are cursing those friends. But it looks like
Yes.
Pramodji here gave you the perfect advice to go ahead and upskill yourself in data engineering, which was the in thing, right?
Yes. And then after that, day by day, me and Kushagra and Pooja, few more become friends. And I was totally like whatever the sir was teaching us, I was practicing on the daily basis. And the way sir was teaching, it was like a very easiest way. Like they are understanding the real concept in this like easy manners. That was not
Hmm.
like we are enjoying the class.
So
And
Ganga, his class is usually 2.5, 3 hours. Of course, it has
yes, yes,
breaks
yes,
and it allows time for
yes.
he because the way he teaches is because I have been a part of the class myself, so I
Mm-hmm.
have realized the for newcomers I'm saying this openly. He demonstrates one particular complete concept. First, he will talk about a little bit of theory, then he will demonstrate it practically, and then he will give
Yes.
scenarios and questions
Uh-huh.
so that you can think on your own. Rather, he does not give you
Yes.
like quick solutions. He likes people to ask questions of to each other, to Ashok also, and then he will answer the question that will develop your thinking,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes.
So,
Uh,
um, uh, so Ganga, usually his classes 2.5, 3 hours. I've seen.
yes. Mm-hmm.
So after the class, how much did you have to? Because his class is Saturday, Sunday, right? So how much
Daily,
practice did you have to do every day?
daily, I used to put like 3 to 4 hours without any fail. I
Mm.
used to practice each and every concept, and multiple times I was watching the videos, recorded session again and again and again. I was writing the notes each and particular pages. If I was having the doubts, means I was like connecting with Kushagra, Pooja, Pramod, and Prithviraj. Few colleagues are there, so I was connecting with them. And day by day,
But
how the course is coming to be the ending. Um, yes.
but Ganga, we have so many
Hello.
distractions, and we have so many distractions in life, Ganga. So if you ask me to study for 2 3 hours, I will be distracted
Mm-hmm.
at least 5 times. First, I'll go watch Instagram, then I'll go watch YouTube videos, then I'll go
No.
watch a little bit of TV, then I'll go to the kitchen and eat a lot of food, then I'll meet a friend. I have so many distractions in life. How did you
I'll
have?
interrupt. I'll interrupt. Just an interruption.
Good,
Money is the
good,
biggest
good.
motivator. Money is the
Yeah,
biggest thing that will make
uh,
you focus on the thing, right?
because
So that is the thing.
Let me
for
add here.
in
1 second,
in
Ganga.
cognizance,
See,
yes, yes,
Ganga,
yes,
1 second. Okay. See, guys, whosoever wants to leave their baggage of the legacy, right? They need to work hard. That's the reason if you are joining my course or you're joining me by any means, I always say you have to commit 2 to 3 hours daily. And this is a technology, if you spend 2 to 3 hours daily for like say 4 5 months, There is no one who can stop you to get this role. No one.
But Ashok, how will I watch movies like Jat and Pushpa 2
No,
and
so
KGF and whatnot?
okay, if you want to become
I will
something,
have
you
a
have to
backlog.
sacrifice. Yeah, you have to sacrifice, right? You have to become something. I also come from a non-technical. I didn't even knew how to start computer when I started IT journey 18
Wow.
years back.
Uh,
Yesterday I completed 18 years of my career, so I never knew, and I was placed. It's not that I never got a job in non-technical. I was employed with one of the tractor manufacturing unit, and I was an electrical engineer there. But I left that job. I said that no, that's not I want to do. Then I taught myself everything myself, and then I where I am right now. So what I'm
as
saying is
far as
hard work has no alternative, guys. You try to choose an alternative for hard work, you will not succeed. You may get short-term success, but it's not long-term. Like Kushagra, Ganga, right? These students, I have pinpointed in my sessions itself that you will get a job, no matter what. The reason is the kind of questions you ask, the kind of attention because in my sessions, I do ask questions to my students. If you are able to think through, right, your answer may not be correct, still I can understand your mindset is right and you will be able to do it. There are many,
Ashok,
many success
how
stories wherein I have pinpointed people in the session itself and they were able to clear, they were the first to clear the interviews.
Ashok, you're like a
Yeah.
scout. I think of baseball or cricket. You're like a talent recognizer, whereas you recognize people's talent, their backgrounds, and give them what they really need. So, Ashok, what are the top 3 or 4 things you look for in a person then before they join you for
Commitment.
any learning?
Commitment, that's it.
Ashok,
That's it is needed. See, if you see about Kushagra, right, he was saying that I was talking to Ashok. One thing is I cannot lie to people. Okay, I tell them the clear picture. I told Kushagra that even eventually like 2 to 3 hours is for the people who are already in IT. They understand some sense of IT.
hmm.
Now you are coming from non-IT, you may have to work 1 hour or 2 hour more. Are you ready for that? If you are not ready, don't join it. I am not a person who just for the money will say, okay, join it. No, don't join it. If you are ready to commit, you will become a data engineer. That is my guarantee. And he said that,
Ashok,
sir, I am ready to do. I will do anything.
Ashok, I want to openly say on the record, I've heard one bad thing about you.
Mhm.
I want to openly share with everybody the entire world through this recording that you are not spending 6 months on Hadoop. You are not spending 6 months on Synapse, and many people are saying, "Oh, he does not teach Hadoop." Why? Can you explain this
Yeah.
this a little
So
better?
Hadoop and all is gone, guys. If you someone is offering you 50, 60 lakh also for Hadoop, don't take it. Okay. If you are already an Hadoop engineer, don't take it. Eventually you will be out of the job.
Right.
That is a fact. Okay, like mainframe, right? Ganga was sharing mainframe when it came, right? The people were dying to get into it. Then eventually it has weaned off. You will not find enough jobs there. Like people supporting, you will get some support roles, but you don't want to become that. You want to grow in your career, right? So this IT, this data engineering tech stack, which we teach, the cloud data engineering, that's going to be staying for another 10 to 15 years for sure.
Yeah,
Something new
yes,
may
yes.
That's
come, right? The journey will keep on going, but 10, 15 years you are good, your career is good. So make a career choice which is going to be long lasting, right? It's not like something came up like Snowflake came up, right? I'm not a I would not say I don't hate Snowflake, but if you see the competition, right, and the salary packages of Snowflake versus Databricks, you will see the huge difference. If you know Databricks, your salary is always very high, very,
hmm.
very high. I have a student actually who is from Australia. She cannot join. Her timings are really off. She took my course. She said that, okay, I cannot join your live classes, but I will take your recordings. And she is able to secure multiple offers in Australia. And she was saying that, sir, I didn't knew anything in data engineering and now I am an expert. So guys, anyone can do it. It's not like Ganga or Kushagra could do it. It's your commitment. People say and thank me that, oh, sir, you did great. No, I didn't do anything. Mentors can just guide you. Okay. How you take the guidance, how you work hard, it's up to you.
Ashok, I've
Like,
I've I've heard one more
mm,
negative comment on you. So-called negative.
mhm,
It's not really negative, but it's a perception about you.
mm,
And you have to answer that honestly, as honestly as you can. So
mm,
many people say that Ashok, unlike many other so-called self-styled gurus in the market, Ashok does not. Ashok teaches live classes with live projects and all those kind of things, real life projects from his experiences in MNCs and from his experiences with partnering with Databricks and all that. But Ashok, why can't Ashok just give he can just start selling his recordings and just give the recordings to us and we are done. We'll do it ourselves.
Yeah,
Does
I will
that
tell you one
does
thing.
that
Okay.
and
Yeah.
why does Ashok not offer these 50 questions in 50 questions on Spark, 20 questions here? You just take my pill and you take the magic pill and you'll succeed. Why don't you do that, Ashok?
See, guys, there is no shortcut. Even my course also, right? It's not a magic wound. The hard work has to be done, right? If anyone wants to learn, the hard work has to be done. The what people do, right? They are not actually working in this technology. If you see full of all the so-called champions, right? You ask them one realistic question, they will surrender. I have heard feedback wherein they bring PDFs, they just share the PDF and done with it. And then when interview happens, right, they are asking students to fail in their interviews. Go give 10 interviews, fail interviews, and then eventually you will succeed. That they can do without their courses also, guys. What I say is you go in the first interview, you kill it. That's my
Correct.
commitment, okay? There should not be any question coming out of what you have learned. Any scenario based questions, 90% of the questions will come from there. No one can ask because what I teach is it's complete. Like whether you talk about error logging, you talk about CI/CD, those are built over the years when I have actually worked on it. So those who don't know, I don't want to name the company I work for. It's it's a dream company for many people actually. I would say, okay, though especially in this field. Because I don't try to tell my client names. That's not good practice. That is the reason my
Ashok,
LinkedIn also says I work for my company. Okay.
Ashok, many times I've seen that the so-called gurus that are trying to teach, they have left. They are only teaching. They are not a practicing professionals from the last since the last decade. So they have not done any real projects or
Yeah, yeah.
real partnerships from the last 10 years. Some
So
people are retired. Some people are
this,
very new and they are only into teaching. They are not a practitioner.
yeah, this technology has evolved in last 10 years, guys. Okay. If someone is claiming that they have 20 years of experience in this technology, they would be lying. Okay. So good 6 7 years in Databricks or hardcore Databricks experience would be able to teach you. Okay, I'm not saying that I only can teach you. The person who has actually worked in different cases, right? Most of the people have just learned from YouTube like you. They got some better knowledge because of their experience in their different technologies. They are able to speak about it. Okay, but when you talk about in detail, right, you should start seeing what is going inside this Spark. When you start visualizing that, then that's where you have learned. If you don't visualize it, right, that means your journey is not complete yet. Like to me, right, anything is going on. When I'm writing code, I can visualize what will happen behind the scene in the clusters. I have reached to that level. So if you think success, money is not a success. Technology is a success. You master a technology to the depth that no one can see. To me, if I go in any interview, right, in 10 minutes, interviewer says, "Sir, I don't have any questions for you." In 10 minutes. The reason is it's not that I am very good. What basically they're looking for, that comes in the answer right away. The to the point answers with detailed explanation, that helps in any interview. And if you have clarity on your thought, no real time scenarios can bother you. That's what has happened with many success stories. It's not only Koshagra Ganga, Shweta I was talking about, she's in Australia. One of my associate who works for me, she cleared a client interview and the client was in awe. She went in, she cleared the client interview, he was in awe. They scheduled 1 hour interview and 30 minutes she was done. But she has worked really hard. I always say that she's my best student because I have seen her journey actually. She works from my office here in San Diego. She has grown from
Uh,
zero to a superstar in Databricks.
Ashok, one interesting feedback that I recently heard was, and this was one professional sitting who had a lot of IT experience, and they were struggling with the interviews. They are not a part of your class, and there was another person from a class who had cleared the interview, being a non-IT professional. So when I asked him, uh, uh, both of them are friends and they were talking to each other, and they explained that with professionals sometimes what happens is there's a lot of unlearning. They have learned the bad practices from somewhere else, and then they are coming to you and they are trying to unlearn all the bad practices so that they can apply real knowledge.
I will tell you, most of the cases is the commitment. See, non-IT background people have that mindset that, boss, there is no life after this. You cannot survive.
Hmm.
Like Kushagar was telling, right? Like you cannot grow yourself. Your friends would become like 50, 60 lakhs, and you will still be in 10, 15 lakhs. So there is, when you think that there is no life after tomorrow, then you start living that life. That's what these people have done. Like this, all this, like Ganga, Kushagra, Puja, right? They said that, sir, no matter what, I have to do it. If you have that in your mind, you will do it. And
Yeah, and I
that
think the
what happens
non
is
not
the
I
IT
think
people actually they have their good job, right? It's not that they have bad job. They want to increase their salary, so they get distracted. Okay, there will be a time when I will go and see those recordings. There will be a time when I will practice it. So that time never comes.
So going back to Ganga, was there ever a time you felt, "Okay, I'm from non-IT background. I will make more mistakes than others. People will laugh at me if I'm making mistakes in the class." And can I ask? Or some people in the class are experienced people. If I'm asking my questions, somebody will laugh at me. Did you ever feel like that?
No, no, not it. I was asking questions like directly if something, whatever I'm not understanding. Means I was asking to colleagues also. Sometimes I will ask to sir.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Because a lot of times, the typical IT professional, they come with pre-existing notions or the preferred way of doing things based upon their old ways of working, and they don't understand that the new technologies require newer ways of thinking. So whenever you're coming from a non-IT background, you're actually much more motivated, and you don't mind making the mistakes. You don't mind practicing. You don't if you don't understand a particular term, like Kushagra was saying, he didn't even understand the word server, but he was motivated to find out about it. So you don't come with a baggage. The best way, I think, what people have told me in Ashok's classes, if you don't come with any pre-existing baggage, you tend to perform much better and faster. Ashok, what has been your experience on this?
No, see, I have seen only the difference actually, right? See, frankly speaking, for me, whether you come with an experience, with you come without any experience, I consider everyone has no knowledge. I never
Right.
consider that someone has any knowledge on it, because the way I teach is my starting sessions will be very very slow, and then
Right.
it starts picking up because I consider that you have got that foundational knowledge now, and then it starts picking up the pace towards the end, and by the end each class is related. When you see like, oh, you have done the previous class and then you come, understanding will develop by itself. If you have
So
missed your
how
class and you have not even watched the recording, it you may find difficult to understand because you were not there. So consistency is very important to be in class or watch the recordings before the next class.
Actually, one last question, and I'm going to open it up to the audience to ask their questions. My last question for you is, how do you? So people come from, like, an MBA background, finance background, sales background, marketing background, engineering background. How do you know what projects are suited better, where they can apply their previous domain knowledge and they can run with the projects better? How do you decide that?
No, it's see these whatever 10 projects I have put together, right? You don't have to
Mhm.
complete all 10, but I
Mhm.
highly recommend that you at least complete 4 to 5. That will give
Gotcha.
you that much, because once you do these 4 5, there is nothing out of syllabus in that. As Kushagra was saying, right? Everything, every use case has been discussed thoroughly in the interviews, because I do a lot of recruitment myself, right? I screen people. I know what kind of questions people are not able to answer. If those questions answers you are getting within the class, there is nothing which is going to come outside from there, because what I ask is practical. I don't ask theoretical
God,
questions. Never, never a single theoretical question. You have to design something. Okay, I will give you a scenario. You design a pipeline, an incremental
gotcha.
pipeline. People fail to design an incremental pipeline, and it's very, very easy, but still people fail. Why do they use structured streaming for batch processing?
Hmm.
The people who has learned it in depth, they will be able to answer very easily. The people who has just watched the video like a Netflix, even my video, if you watch like a Netflix, that memory is short lived. You will start forgetting it.
Gotcha.
So,
Thank you,
so you
Ashok.
have to practice, guys. Everyone
Yeah.
has to practice.
So, guys, at this stage, I would like
One,
to. I would
hello.
like to. Yeah, Ganga, please go ahead, and then I would open it for
Actually, one
questions.
thing I want to say means enough knowledge to get from sir's recording video means whatever they are asking in the interview. If we covered all the videos, means we can definitely give the answers properly. Means sir has been explained everything like in proper way. Whatever the interview questions will come. If you are watching videos again and again, means definitely we can give the answers in perfect way. Whatever about the streaming questions and all the stuff.
I had one guy called Nilay. He told me, Arun, when I watched the video the second time, I realized that if you hear the videos very carefully, even if you have to hear it slowly, you understand the second time you understand much better. He has explained multiple scenarios. Within
Yes.
every sentence he says it has a
Yes.
meaning. Okay. So guys, Abhishek, Ankita, Vishwajit, and everybody, Ganga, Karnakar, Kirti Shekhar, go ahead and start asking questions that most important to you, Mayank, Pallavi, anybody. Pramod, Ravi, Krenu, Santosh, Shivam, Srinivaslu, Sunita. You can ask any question. You have to just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask any question that you want to ask about data engineering, or if you want to ask any questions to Ashok and Ganga about interviews. No question is a bad question. Come on, guys, I want to see some participation. Hello, hello. Is anybody alive?
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Srinivas.
Uh, Ashok, actually, I have one question. Without ADF, with the only Databricks, can we get the job actually?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
The reason is you need to know ingestion also. Databricks is mainly used for your basically for processing, data processing. Not, but for ingestion, like bringing from the data from on prem or something, you need ADF.
Okay, okay.
Is
Oh, okay, yeah. Hi, Ashok. I'm Ravi
off the
speaking.
car. Go. Yeah, Ravi.
Yeah. So ADF, is it an ETL tool or just integration tool?
No, it's an ETL tool. It's a codeless ETL tool. And so, just for your knowledge, actually, I teach ADF also. That course link which I have pinged, that has ADF content also. So ADF is a cloud-based Azure provide, like Microsoft provided codeless ETL tool.
Oh, okay. And yeah, coming to Databricks, how much of Python is required? How much of Python in the sense do we
So
also need to
Python
learn
Python
hooks?
is definitely required, but it is not like you have to be an expert in Python. Whatever level of Python is required, that will be taught within the class itself. There will not be specific
Oh,
sessions for Python, but the sessions would be like, suppose I'm using a list in the Python, I will explain what is a list. How do you use it? Similarly,
oh,
if suppose there is a sequence used, I will tell you how to a sequence is used. Or if I'm creating a function, right, I will tell you how to create a function in. So you have to
oh,
keep practicing what I'm teaching, right? And you will learn Python also.
okay, okay.
And I can
Ashok,
forward you some of the links also if you want to actually practice Python. So there are so many links, free links you can actually learn from.
Yeah.
Ashok,
Oh,
can
okay.
you
Ashok,
coming
one
was,
thing.
can you talk to us about can you talk to us a little bit about the platform that you have for practicing and all that? So for
Yeah.
some people want
So
to take certifications.
yeah. So basically, if you go to my website, guys, if you see, I have actual practice papers. Like those are actual real exam papers from various certifications, from Microsoft, from Databricks, the Power BI also. Like you have real papers. So you can practice, like there are 10 sets of paper, then you get a master cheat sheet to go and apply when you want to give the exam, right? So I have not seen any failure in, like those who have followed that has not seen any failure in their certifications. But to
Actually,
get
people
the
have done
job, guys,
multiple
see, it's a,
certifications.
yeah. So getting the job, you need the knowledge, and certification makes your CV beautiful. That's what I can say.
All right. Somebody else had a question. Please go ahead.
So you mean to say certification is necessary?
It's not necessary. I don't have many certifications. It's your knowledge who's what speaks. But since you are coming, you are joining your career, right? You're starting your career.
Yeah.
I would recommend to do it. The reason is that will boost your CV. When you prepare your CV, that
Uh,
becomes your more beautiful CV.
yeah. Okay. Sure. Got it.
It's just an added feather in the cap, nothing more.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? I'd like to see some questions from the ladies too. Ankita, Pallavi, Renu, Sunita.
So, guys, here
This is a
actually I
this
want
is
to
a
say something.
chance.
Okay, you guys have that WhatsApp group, right? If you want to take any feedback, you want to talk to these people, because we don't do any fake stuff. Okay, one thing I want to tell, actually, I don't do lot of marketing also for this course. The reason is I am already very much occupied with my work, right? I just do this out of passion. That's the reason I take very limited people in the class so that I can focus and teach them rather than having 200, 300 people in the batch. So you want to talk to them personally, you can talk Kushag Ganga anytime. So they are there in each of these groups. Okay, you want to ask there any questions, I will drop openly. Ask, guys. Okay, there is nothing bad. If you want to know about, you do want to do your due diligence, do it. So I encourage people doing the due diligence before joining anything. Okay. So all the best, guys. I have to drop right now. I have to go somewhere. But
Got
it
you.
was nice talking to each of you, and I
Yeah.
wish you a very best for your career. And if you
Yeah.
have any questions for me, shoot an text. I will reply. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
In the meantime, I'll continue for another few
Yeah.
minutes and answer some more questions. So,
Yeah.
so Ganga and Kushagra, a lot of people believe that they will just buy a certification from somewhere through some unethical means, and then they will take the question papers from somewhere else, dumps or question papers, and they will have somebody else take the interview, and then they'll depend on job support. What do you think about this kind of a practice going on in the industry?
Do you want me to answer this question?
So a lot of people, there are a lot of companies that write to you saying, "I will provide you job support. Don't worry. I will take your
Yeah.
interview for you. I will give you some papers. You have to just lip sync and uh, and be successful." What do you think about this?
Will not work. It's, you want to grow in the long term now. The long term it will not work. Like quick fix will not work in this field because the principal architect who has designed the whole solution field, right? On which obviously you'll go into a team as a senior developer or lead, right? So there would be a principal architect who has designed
Mm.
everything. He'll know everything. So once you have an
It,
interaction with him now, so within 10 minutes he'll judge you. Because I've joined
exactly.
the organization. I've joined the organization. There is a principal architect, you know, and he had a discussion with me, and within I could understand he was asking me different questions about RBACs, row level security, column level security. He was in the client round as well. he asked me a few questions. He was trying to understand me whether I have the knowledge or not. So the person
Exactly.
will judge you. If you're trying to have the job support, he'll judge you and he'll try his level best to get you out of his team.
So people like to
Because
hurt. People typically hurt themselves in the short term by following these kind of things, and they are not able
yes,
to maintain the job for a long time. So I
the
am
quick fix will
totally
not work.
against this person. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The quick fix will not work. That is for sure.
Correct. Okay. Anybody else? Any more questions for Ganga, Kushagra about interviews, about you know the time they dedicated? I have one, Ganga. So Ganga, are there any books you referred apart from the? Do you think the notes and exercise were sufficient and the recording was sufficient, or did you take a look at a couple different resources? Kushagra, you can also answer that if
And
you
I
want.
have given the interviews.
Like since you, if we are hired in the developer position, right? In the
Right.
developer position, you do not have to refer to any documentation. You don't have to prepare any documentation. So I mean
Uh-huh.
that deep dive core knowledge is not required as a developer. I mean, if you have like information about the gold layer, silver layer, and the middle architecture, and like ADF, right? So you
Uh,
can like work your way out until unless you're applying for a lead or a very senior lead or a principal architect position. You
mm,
have to go through different books because as an architect or as a like major lead, you have to define certain RBACs and everything, data governance
right.
policies. So until
Right.
unless you have to define the governance policies and you have to define the documentation for which like the whole team will work on, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to go through books. If you're just applying for the developer position or the senior developer position, I would say even if you're applying for a lead position,
Mm,
who's only here to manage and give the solution approach and the developer will work on them. You don't
mm.
need any books on that. No books are
Gotcha.
required. I mean that's my experience.
So I also understand, and I think Ashok has left, but I want to ask this question. A lot of people I've noticed. Ashok recently came out with he's helping a lot of people get internship experiences also, so that they can apply abroad. I know his company is hiring, and then he has partnerships with many other companies that are hiring. So, is there anybody in the group? Or anybody that's benefited from that kind of help, internships?
I mean, we do have some foreign people who are like offshore and
Right.
they're looking for job. If you're in US, obviously Trump is creating no problem for you. The companies
Right.
are you are being skeptical because of your because you don't know what Trump's going to say next, right? But I don't think it is required if you have a job with your organization. uh, Let the dust get settled down. If you want to get hired, if you're in US, you can get hired in the Ashok's company as well, Cloud Logs. He'll hire you because in US I offered him my role, but he told me because it's a data integrity issue might occur, so he cannot hire offshore. But if the guys are living in US, they could get hired in his organization. They could get internships as well, and
Yeah,
obviously
I
the
know.
hands-on experience would be available.
I know personally a lot of people that has been able to hire on EAD or other visas, and
Yeah,
like I said, I'm being from US. I can confidently say that there are a lot of opportunities in US. The only thing that is happening in the short term is if the company does not want to hire directly, they are going through the consulting. So don't join the company directly as an employee, but there's a lot of scope for joining them as consultant, and later on you're converted into employee at the right time. So they just find a way out. It's just a matter of a little bit of time. Okay, guys, any other questions for our guests, for our stars? I think I'm going to bring in Pooja Princess next time, and she can share her own feedback as well, having made it through Cognizant. So I'm very very proud of her. And there are many other people. I mean, they keep coming to us. We just wait until they have cleared the interviews and they've spent some time on the job, and then only we talk about them. Um, so we don't want to like put a jinx just when they have just they are preparing for their final rounds. Okay, I will have couple minutes for last minute questions, and we can whatever questions are remain if there are anything that comes into your mind later, you can always write in the group. You can always share your thoughts and feedback, and your questions will be answered. Guys, anybody has any last minute questions? Please state them now, regardless of how stupid you might feel that they are, because no question is a stupid question. Okay, let me ask one. So when most people are taking interviews, what areas? Because this course covers a lot of areas, a lot of topics. So in your experiences that you have in Kushagra, specific to your experiences, what are some of the topics where the questions were asked most from, and how long was this interview duration? Did they have one round or two rounds? So I want to understand a little bit about that as well.
So first few rounds would be very, the foundation of time would be there, right? In the initial rounds, like in ADF, focus on triggers, orchestration of pipeline, the metadata-driven pipeline. Okay, the number 4 would be the types of data sources from where you're fetching the data, right? I mean, that is enough. Now, obviously, when it comes to data validation and data duplicacy, right? So you should also go through data flow, which is schema drift and dynamic column mapping. I mean, this will cover everything in ADF, including the logic apps. I mean, if you have gone through these 5 to 6
Exceptional
topics,
handling also.
exceptional handling, yeah, exceptional handling and logic apps, everything is
Yeah.
covered. Fine. Then you get into
Yes.
Databricks. In Databricks also schema validation is there. Then you go to Kafka if the real-time data processing is there. I mean, few topics, 4 to 5 topics on Databricks and 4 to 5
Optimization
topics.
techniques.
Yeah, 4 to 5 topics in ADF.
So what's Kafka? It sounds like a cough syrup.
No, it's simple. It's very simple. It is like if you're having the real-time data processing, that is very simple. You go through his lecture, you'll understand the code. You can, I can suggest you one thing. You can copy paste the code, yeah. The best thing about Ashok's code is now he'll provide you the code by himself. You can copy paste the code and you can change the location. That's it. It will work for you. You don't have to write your own code. I mean, that's the best part about Ashok. He has provided you the notebooks and the code written for it. You can do it. You can make a little tweaking in it. You can change the code and it will work for your notebook as well. I mean, that's what I have observed.
Yes.
Because I'm going into the real-time data processing project, and I'll definitely, and Ganga will also go into the real-time data processing project. And she'll also will be.
So I would have to ask Ganga and Sabra and maybe Pooja later, and other people. See, when I start the class, one day I feel very motivated. When I hear a seminar, typically I feel very motivated at one day, and then I don't take any action. And the next day I attend the class half-hearted. Third day I don't practice. Fourth day I have other distractions. Literally, how do you keep motivated for the entire 12 weeks? I mean, I know that you said that money is a great motivator, so that I understand. But what else? How do you? Because there are days when I feel like studying a lot. Some days I'll study fast. Some days I want to spend only half an hour. How do you cope up? Did you get my question, Kushagra, Ganga?
I mean, motivation should not be a factor here. I think discipline is the
Yeah.
Me and Ganga were into
Yeah,
discipline, guys. Consistency is the key here.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to be consistent, so that's how success will come,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
actually means if you want to success means at least एक दिन में हम लोगों को at least एक हाथ तो देना पड़ेगा. Means the person who is working in the IT, they are doing the daily job and all the stuff. At least 1 hour should be 1 hour at least they might be spent on the time whatever sir has been taught for us. But हम लोगों ने तो 2 घंटा 3 घंटा दिया है.
So in other words, you're saying motivation or no motivation. Let motivation go to hell. You don't need motivation or no motivation. What you need is discipline every day, consistency every day.
Yes.
ठीक है. I
But it
heard a
will
lot of
at the end
yeses.
of the era, at the end of the era, it will give the so beautiful result. Especially Kushagra was struggling like anything, and even I was also struggling like anything. But at the end, we thought ki we will win. And one day in the session, also, sir said Kushagra definitely will get the job as soon as possible. That only happened as first.
I really don't know how Ashok does it. He's really magical. Every person
Yeah.
realizes and he says, you will definitely get it. After 15, 20 days, 1 month later, I hear that that person has made it, that person has made it. He's very, very good at judging the talent of people. So again,
The way,
once
because
again, congratulations to go ahead, Ganga.
because the way Kushagra asking the doubts for silly questions, sometimes we are not understanding. But the way Ashok was explaining, it was really awesome. Means if we are not understanding multiple times, we can ask. He will explain us.
It makes me feel very happy and very confident that a person who had questions about what is server can today talk so intelligently about stuff, and he has already made it, or both of you have come out with flying colors. So again, congratulations to both of you, and I wish you the best of
Thank you so
success.
much.
This is just a start. You will get many offers in the future, and this is just one milestone in the journey. You'll have great success in the future as well if you keep at it. With that, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up this session. If you have one last question, I'll still take one last question from anybody that wants to ask. Anyone? I don't want to leave anybody behind. Looks like some people may be wanting to ask their questions privately, and you're most welcome. You can write to us. You can write to us in the group, or you can text Ashok, or you can text me. And we'll be very happy to address any questions that you may have in future, right? And we also have a group where we have multiple groups actually where we discuss a lot of these questions very openly. Um, Having said that, let's wrap it up. Prem and Akriti, and thank you for being a wonderful support to us today. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks everyone for joining, for taking the time out to attend this session. It's about 11:15 in the US. It must be about 10 o'clock in India.
It's 9:46 in India.
9:46. Okay, fair enough. So Srinivas, I saw your picture pop up. Did you have a question?
No, Arun.
All right, guys. All the best to you guys, and we'll see you next. We'll do more of these. Now that I'm back, we'll do a lot of these sessions almost every week.